This is Emily Schultz, Vice President of Client Services at John Roberts.
And I'm Marnie Janisich, President of John Roberts.
And we're here to talk a little bit about the behind the scenes of the calendar. So Marnie, you've been working on the calendar since
2017.
We've done a lot of different themes. I'm very excited about this one. A lot of really fun effects in here. How do you start to even come up with the concept? Or what do you look for?
The biggest thing that I look for is something that will allow for a variety of images. Figuring that this is a gift, not a marketing piece, and looking for something that people would be comfortable having on their wall throughout the year. Even if you don't like all of the images, we hope that everybody likes at least a few of the images. So variety is the biggest thing, themes that will allow for a variety of different images.
So the nice thing with this, even though it's not a marketing piece, there are some really cool techniques that are used, and I know Scott Zorn and the team are going to talk more in detail about how they do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Is there certain things you look for in the images themselves when you're looking for techniques?
I really pull Scott Zorn into a lot of those. I've learned through the years what images will work well with techniques for the most part, but usually I'll have like a couple options and I'll kind of go through with him. Once I have the theme down and kind of an idea of the images, I'll kind of pull Scott in and go through which ones will work best.
Something really cool that we're doing this year is the charity for each of the departments. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it kind of came up in a brainstorming session with you and Scott Zorn, but throughout every year, John Roberts donates money to different charities. Usually we get requests from employees or clients or people in the community, and it's just never really been organized or planned. And I was kind of talking about that with you guys, and we kind of came up with the idea of incorporating all of our employees into deciding what charities we donate to, and that's kind of how we came with the voting and the contest.
So the premise behind it, each month has a QR code that anyone who receives the calendar can scan, and you can vote for one of 3 charities. Multiple departments are teaming up to raise money for the charities that they pick. At the end of the year, John Roberts will contribute extra money to the charities that raise the most votes and the department that raised the most money. So it's really exciting and fun, and it's going to be a good, friendly competition for everybody. And it's amazing how much feedback we actually get from people who receive it, and how much they like the images, they like the techniques, and the fact that you can reference in the back of it how we built it,
right?
So they can replicate it.
And that's why I really try and focus on the fact that it's a gift. It's not a marketing piece. We want people to
enjoy it.
I'm Scott Zorn. I'm the VP of Operations at John Roberts.
Andy Esby, press operator.
Tom Wall, press room manager.
It takes months to pick the pictures. We have specified to Marnie that to do techniques like this, we have to have contrast, we have to have dark images, sharp lines. So when Marnie is done picking 25, 30 pictures, then it's in my court to narrow it down to what's going to hold techniques. It's not always my say on what techniques we use. I mean, I have drawn Andy, Paul, management into this because my vision now has to be put on a piece of paper.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool things that you've done, like this hippo here has rubberized coating. You use different VCMs, put a different thickness of the coating on, and the more you put on, it feels cool. And you got motion varnish here, which gives you that cool look when you move the sheet. Kind of makes the sunburst, just makes the images pop and look really cool. And like the same thing with the plane here.
We're known for techniques. That's what we do here at John Roberts. And by doing this over and over and over again, when the pictures show up, we already know in our head, hey, that's gonna probably be the best image for rubber coating. This might be the best image for soft touch and gloss coating or motion coating because you want to create contrast with the snow in the background. As far as this, it's a very dark image. What could we do to it? Well, we actually made the tarmac feel like a tarmac. We highlighted lines right in the asphalt to create texture. So again, it's not that we try on press, trial and error and pull it off. We already have the vision in our head, and from doing it over and over again, and trusting what these guys can do, we already know before we go to press. Now we do discuss maybe some images beforehand to say, hey, how many passes is this going to be through the press, or what kind of trouble can I get into? Because my mind, I'm going to run with it. For us to just dump anything we possibly can on a sheet of paper to create texture, feel, smell, I'm going to do it. But I do rely on the pressmen because they're the ones that still have to put the sheet through the press.
Coming here and seeing what we can do with the knowledge we have with the techniques and the skill level we have with the operators and the equipment we have, it really all comes in very, very nicely. So that's what's so unique about this calendar. It's really kind of special. We don't necessarily do trial and error, but there has been occasions where, on this particular image here, we did a soft touch on the monkey, which felt great. But then we did a highlight with, I believe, the eyes.
We left the face and the hands with a varnish, and it almost looked like it was just dumped on a sheet. It didn't look real. So we did go back in and recreate a new plate or get a new Cyrel to just soft touch the whole image.
So with the knowledge that we have and with the skill level and the equipment again that we have, you can take a look at it and say, you know what, that's just not quite what we were looking for. That's not working. And then you go back and you try something different. So I think that's the only image we did that on, but it looks much better. To me, that's one of my favorite images, quite honestly. It's pretty cool. With the silver underlaying,
Yeah.
we underlay silver underneath the monkey itself to bring out the highlights. Very, very cool.
So we try to incorporate pretty much every technique that we do on the press within our calendar so customers know what is available. We have grit, we have motion coat, we have soft touch.
Scented.
Scented
The scented
varnishes.
varnishes are awesome. The lavender one here, it's really strong. It's really kind of unique.
And this year, I started playing around with the 3D varnish and the foil. The cover was created with the idea that Marnie wanted me to put glitter varnish on there. Well, glitter varnish would have took away from the word sparkle and stuff. It would have just looked like I threw it on the sheet. But by me adding foil where the stars are and just adding little spots of silver within the sparkle, you move it around. It creates its own look. One of the things we've done in the past and we're getting really good at and we're getting comfortable with is overall soft touches with coatings on top. Soft touch, water-based soft touch, we can lay that down on a sheet and then we can pretty much put anything on top of it, whether it's ink, varnishes, 3D varnish, foils, to create more of that dimensional look.
Hi, I'm Mark Bordeaux. I'm a finishing manager at John Roberts.
I'm Chad Carpenter and I'm the bindery manager at John Roberts.
So anytime that we have a piece that has special effects on it, in any case, whether from printing through the whole process, in our processes, we take a look at it and we take special care of the piece so that when we trim it, as simple as trimming, we look at it and say, okay, we can't put that much pressure on the piece. So the clamps or the guillotine cutters are impacting the piece and how they're impacting the piece. We may take smaller lifts, release the pressure, but we have to take special care of the product when we are producing it, or it will damage the special effects and the overall impact of the piece.
We have people that have been here forever that they just know looking at the piece, they can take it, look at it and say, hey, I gotta release pressure so I'm not damaging the foil stamping, I'm not damaging the smell effect, I'm not damaging anything.
Well, here's to a 2023 that sparkles.